Today, we step into a journey through time to explore lost civilizations and forgotten wonders on this ancient planet. Mohenjo-Daro in Pakistan is regarded as humanity's first smart city, where planning, engineering, and philosophy merged into one prehistoric vision. The city was built on an artificial mound about 40 feet high to resist flooding from the Indus River, a remarkably early disaster strategy. Its bricks followed a standardized ratio of 1 to 2 to 4, proving a centralized authority and advanced precision in measurement. Every residential block contained underground drains and inspection pits, showing an urban hygiene system far ahead of ancient Europe. In the 1970s, physicists detected faint radiation in the soil, inspiring theories of an ancient explosion still unverified by science. Today, Mohenjo-Daro is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with only 10% excavated, while the rest remains buried beneath the sands of time. Chavin de Huanta is an ancient Andean center of religion and engineering built over 3,000 years ago at about 10,400 feet high in Peru's mountains. The complex was constructed from granite and diorite, including a main temple, circular plaza, underground tunnels, and stone water channels, showing early seismic and hydraulic mastery. Inside, the long corridors carved in stone were designed to amplify flowing water and voices, producing thunder-like resonance used in rain rituals. Many stones bear carvings of human, animal, serpent hybrids, symbolizing the ancient belief in harmony between mankind and the forces of nature. When rediscovered in 1919, archaeologists found a ceremonial horn made from seashells, proving early trade between the Andes and the Pacific Ocean. As you walk through the cold tunnels, hearing the echoes of water, every sense reconnects to an era where gods and humans spoke through sound. Huaca del Sol was built over 15 centuries ago by the Moche civilization as the greatest seat of power on Peru's coastal plain, where politics, religion, and architecture merged into one massive adobe monument. It was formed from more than 130 million sun-dried bricks, each marked by its community of origin, reflecting an extraordinary system of organized labor. When completed, the structure rose about 160 feet high, stretching over 1,100 feet across 8 terraced levels built through generations. Archaeological studies reveal it functioned not only as a sun temple, but as an administrative and military center for Moche rulers. Facing Huaca del Sol, one can sense the collective strength and faith that transformed clay into the enduring emblem of the Moche world. Cuelap in Peru was built by the warriors of the clouds, the Chachapoya people, who raised the highest stone fortress of the Andes more than 1,000 years ago. At about 9,800 feet above sea level, its stone walls soar 62 feet high, surrounded by dense mountain mist. Inside stand more than 400 circular structures, once used as homes, granaries, and temples, reflecting a complex spiritual and social order. Many travelers say that while standing in Cuelap's fog, they hear faint echoes from the stones as if ancestors were still calling out. At that height, Cuelap stands not as a ruin, but as a living witness to humanity's will to rise above the Andean wilderness. Mycenae is regarded as a major power center of Greece in the Bronze Age, where the Mycenaean civilization helped lay foundations for later Greek culture. The citadel rises on a natural rocky hill, high and isolated, giving wide views over the land and a strong defensive advantage. Water for Mycenae came from deep underground springs, guided through hidden stone tunnels, so inhabitants could endure even during long sieges. Its cyclopean walls use enormous stone blocks, fitted tightly without mortar, a building method that still challenges modern archaeological explanations. The massive stone architecture against an open blue sky and dry landscape creates a powerful visual effect, as if the site belonged to another age. Many visitors describe Mycenae as a place that still breathes epic stories, walking among ruins, yet feeling dense layers of civilization beneath. Cueva de las Manos in Argentina is humanity's oldest stone message, where the first Patagonian settlers imprinted their hands more than 9,000 years ago. Hidden in a dry valley about 2,400 feet high, the cave holds over 800 images reflecting prehistoric life and ritual thought. They mixed hematite manganese and copper oxide with water or animal fat, then sprayed it through hollow bird bones, creating colors that never faded. Some handprints, missing fingers, are believed to symbolize ancient sacrifices, a covenant between humanity and the forces of nature. In 1976, archaeologists observed one handprint subtly changing color overnight, with no light or moisture, suggesting an unknown mineral reaction still active today. Now recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Cueva de las Manos stands as proof of art's first dawn and humanity's timeless need to tell its own story. Babylon makes a strong impression because it was built on ancient alluvial ground stretching many miles where old sediments supported the rise of a massive city. Clay mixed with minerals was fired into bricks, allowing its structures to endure the hot, dry climate with remarkable durability. The city emerged more than 4,000 years ago and became a center of law, astronomy, and architecture in a powerful early civilization. Its brown bricks and open ruins spread across the land, creating the feeling of a giant geological map exposed to the present. Many ancient bricks still hold the fingerprints of builders, leaving accidental signatures from people who lived thousands of years in the past. Today, visitors often feel the silence and intense sunlight covering the ruins, making Babylon seem like an ancient space that continues to breathe. Uxmal appears as an ancient Maya city built with remarkable precision across a wide, dry lowland where stone architecture reflects strong technical skill. Its light-colored limestone makes the structures shift in tone through the day, from pale yellow in the morning to the deep orange in the afternoon sunlight. The city stands on open ground with few tall trees, creating a rare wide layout that allows clear visibility of major architectural lines. Uxmal once held regional power by controlling trade activity and developing ceremonial systems shaped by early astronomical knowledge. Its stone buildings, rising dozens of feet, carry dense masks of the rain deity and geometric patterns showing advanced Maya craftsmanship. Walking through the bright stone paths and dry wind gives visitors the feeling of touching a preserved chapter of an ancient civilization. Borobudur rises like a monumental stone sculpture built in the 8th century on an extinct volcanic hill and shaped around the core philosophy of enlightenment. The structure reaches about 115 feet and contains more than 2,600 reliefs and 500 Buddha statues carved to express a complete ancient doctrinal system. Its 10 meditative levels recreate the spiritual ascent from ordinary human life toward ultimate wisdom within classical Mahayana thought. The monument spent centuries buried under volcanic ash until its rediscovery in 1814, triggering long scholarly debates about origin and meaning. "160 hidden reliefs on the lowest tier illustrate desire, punishment, and rebirth, revealing the instinctive depths of the human cycle of existence." Visitors often arrive before sunrise to witness the first light touching the stone stupa, a moment that reveals an ancient solemnity untouched by time. Sayburç is a Neolithic archaeological site in southeastern Turkey, where limestone carvings reveal one of humanity's earliest settled societies. Inside its circular stone structure, reliefs showing humans and animals interacting mark the dawn of belief and communal ritual. Carved floors, long benches, and T-shaped pillars prove that architecture and spatial planning existed far earlier than ancient Egypt. The site lies between mountain foothills and fertile plains, forming a natural bridge where ancient people shifted from hunting to settlement. Today, Sayburç stands as a key to understanding how the first human communities transformed faith into architecture and art. Pumpurhar is an ancient port on the Tamil Nadu coast of India where the Kaveri River meets the Bay of Bengal, a point where river and sea become one. From the 3rd century BC to the 3rd century AD, it thrived as a major center of trade, naval power, and culture in South India. A study in 2017 suggests the city may date back 15,000 years, making it one of the oldest settlements in the country. Pumpurhar stands today as an early model of a port city serving both commerce and navy, a reminder that ancient glory can fade, yet never truly vanish. Karal Supe lies within a dry valley facing the Pacific Ocean, covering about 460 acres as one of the oldest cities in the Americas. Its stone pyramids and sunken circular plazas reveal early urban planning and social organization far ahead of their time. Set between the desert plateau and the Supe River Valley, it became the cradle of civilization more than 5,000 years ago. Earthquake-resistant foundations and carefully layered stone structures prove ancient builders understood the power and rhythm of nature. Without defensive walls or evidence of warfare, Karal Supe shows a peaceful society devoted to ceremony and trade. Recognized by UNESCO in 2009, it now stands as a living witness to the origins of civilization in the Americas. Monte Alban stands high above the Oaxaca Valley, where the Zapotec people leveled an entire mountaintop to build a capital in the sky. Around 500 BC, it became the political and spiritual heart of southern Mexico, commanding lands that stretched for hundreds of miles. Rising about 6,400 feet above sea level, the city was aligned with ancient astronomical calculations linking mountains and stars. Surveys revealed hollow chambers and man-made tunnels beneath the stone surface, possibly sacred corridors that have never been opened. Many stones were fitted so precisely that a knife blade cannot pass between them, mirroring the megalithic masonry found in Peru. In 2021, ground radar detected a spiral-shaped complex buried 65 feet deep, believed to symbolize the eternal motion of the sun. Blythe Intaglios appears across the Colorado River Basin Desert as massive, ancient markings created by scraping dark gravel away to reveal lighter soil underneath. Archaeological estimates suggest these figures are between 1,000 and 2,000 years old, showing early humans shaped the land long before strong agriculture existed here. The geoglyphs can only be understood from above, raising questions about how ancient creators reviewed the entire layout without flight or distant viewing tools. Several lines keep nearly identical depth, with variations under 1 inch, revealing a level of precision far beyond simple scraping tools of the time. Ephesus is seen as one of the strongest ancient centers of the Mediterranean, where Greek and Roman urban life flourished for more than 2,000 years. The city stood on a floodplain of about 20 square miles, shaped by coastal sediments that allowed it to become a major ancient trading hub. The Celsus Library rose nearly 50 feet, and the Great Theatre held around 25,000 people, reflecting the sophistication of Roman public architecture. Long marble avenues up to 6 feet wide run through the site, helping visitors clearly understand how a complete ancient city was organized. Many structures still preserve traces of original color, and the polished stone surfaces reveal how heavily the city was used in daily life. Walking through the open landscape, visitors often feel the movement of history itself, as if 2,000 years of civilization still echo around them. The necropolis of Banditacia rises on a volcanic tufa plateau overlooking the Latium coast, where stone and Mediterranean wind preserve the memory of the Etruscans. Over 2,000 years ago, they built a city of the dead, with giant, round burial mounds, carved stone walls, and straight streets like a living metropolis. Inside, ceilings carved to resemble wood beams and objects of ivory, clay, and metal remain intact, showing how they recreated life beyond death. The structures were carved directly into the tufa rock, forming a lasting network of tombs connected like the blueprint of an underground city. Many burial mounds reach about 40 feet across, covered with grass and stone outside and divided into several rooms like real ancient houses inside. Banditacia stands not only as ruins, but as a reminder of humanity's imagination and unbroken belief in continuity beyond time. Cahokia was once North America's largest ancient city, covering about 6 square miles on the floodplains near the Mississippi River, the center of an earthen civilization. The city held more than 120 man-made mounds, including Monk's Mound, rising around 100 feet and spanning nearly 14 acres, the largest earthen monument north of Mexico. At its peak, around the year 1100, Cahokia had an estimated population of 20,000, surpassing most European cities like London or Paris of the same era. The metropolis was aligned with the 4 cardinal directions, featuring massive wooden circles used for solar observation and astronomical ceremonies. Today, Cahokia stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, symbolizing a civilization without stone walls that still reached eternity through knowledge and faith. Carthage is known as a major ancient city built on limestone and alluvial ground near the sea, formed about 2,900 years ago and rising as a Mediterranean trade center. The ground combines layers of old marine sediment with bricks fired from clay and sand, allowing its structures to withstand the hot, dry North African climate for many centuries. From this position, Carthage grew into the capital of a powerful empire with war fleets, harbor taxes, and long-distance luxury trade networks. Today, pale bricks, low walls, and broken limestone bases create a scene where the city seems to slowly emerge from the earth. Many ancient bricks still carry builders' handprints and stacked construction layers, showing repeated cycles of destruction and rebuilding. Visitors are often struck by the flat open space, strong wind and intense sunlight over the ruins, making Carthage feel like a silent maritime witness still present in the modern world. Skara Brae lies on the northern coast of Scotland, preserved as one of Europe's most complete prehistoric stone villages. This community thrived about 5,200 to 4,500 years ago, using half-buried stone houses surrounded by thick soil walls for warmth. Archaeologists found no weapons or signs of conflict, suggesting its people left because of environmental change rather than war. The site amazes visitors with low stone walls, narrow paths connecting homes, and layers of sea sand covering ancient foundations. In 1999, Skara Brae became a UNESCO World Heritage Site, symbolizing prehistoric endurance against nature's extremes. Although well protected, Part of the village has already been washed away by coastal erosion, and the sea keeps advancing every year. Great Sphinx of Giza creates a strong impression with its human head and lion body, carved from a single limestone block about 240 feet long, showing clear geological layers. The monument is shaped entirely from natural stone, revealing advanced material skills far beyond many structures of the same era. Alternating soft and hard limestone bands across the body reflect a formation process lasting millions of years before humans carved it. Its age of about 4,500 years makes it the oldest surviving monolithic sculpture that still keeps much of its original form. Today, visitors often feel its massive scale and rugged surface as if facing an ancient landmark that continues to resist the passage of time. Palmyra is known as a major ancient city formed at a trade crossroads, linking the Mediterranean with distant lands of the East. Its light yellow sandstone reflects strong sunlight, causing the structures to shift in color throughout different moments of the day. The city stands inside a shallow basin, surrounded by wide rocky highlands, reducing wind erosion and creating the feeling of a vast desert bowl. Palmyra once grew wealthy by controlling routes that moved valuable goods such as silk, incense, and ivory across ancient markets. Tarxian temples in Malta is one of the world's oldest megalithic complexes, built more than 5,000 years ago as a major Neolithic ceremonial center. The site consists of 4 interconnected temples covering about 10,000 square feet, built entirely from coralline limestone blocks, weighing many tons. Stone walls rising 13 feet still bear spiral leaf and animal carvings, revealing the refined artistic mind of the ancient builders. Sukhothai marks the formation of Thailand's first kingdom, with an independent dynasty in the 13th century and the creation of the Thai writing system. Its closed basin landscape allows natural water retention, forming moats and ponds stretching across several hundred acres since medieval times. It stands out for massive Buddha statues and bell-shaped stone towers, reflecting the peak of early Buddhist art in Southeast Asia. The heritage zone remains wide and open, with minimal forest coverage, letting visitors see the entire layout without visual obstruction. Some engraved stone slabs from nearly 800 years ago remain intact and are recognized by UNESCO as Thailand's oldest written record. November is the ideal time to visit, when the Loy Krathong festival recreates the ancient mood through light, music, and traditional rituals. Palenque is an ancient Maya city in the Chiapas jungle, where a complete cosmic philosophy was carved into stone and astronomical alignment. Its main temples align precisely with the rising and setting sun and the orbit of Venus, showing scientific accuracy to a single degree. Beneath the stone floor runs a 2,000-foot network of air tunnels, and drainage channels, revealing the Mayas' mastery of hydraulics and aerodynamics. Over 1,400 hieroglyphs record 2 centuries of Pakal's dynasty, forming a continuous chronicle unmatched in ancient Mesoamerica. Inside the royal tomb, a funerary mask made of 400 jade pieces embodies the belief that death was a gateway to rebirth. Today, Palenque remains a global center for archaeological research, where science, symbolism, and ancient faith coexist in one enduring human legacy. Colosseum makes a strong first impression through its travertine structure, rising about 157 feet, with an ellipse nearly 620 feet long, creating an immediate sense of scale. The entire monument uses Roman concrete mixed with volcanic rock, allowing its load-bearing frame to survive almost 2,000 years without collapsing. More than 240 anchor points once supported a massive, retractable roof that provided shade for tens of thousands of spectators. The underground system containing lifts, corridors, and preparation areas shows an advanced level of organization far beyond common architectural standards of the ancient world. Broken walls and bright stone layers reveal the structural skeleton, giving the empty interior a deep, unusual atmosphere. Today, visitors often remember the powerful contrast between ancient ruins and the immense scale still visible, making the place feel like a direct encounter with a major chapter of human history. Hagar Chim rises on a limestone ridge in southern Malta, once known as the Island of Prehistory, preserving traces of an ancient Earth where humans first shaped their world from stone. Built more than 5,000 years ago, during the Gigantica period, it belongs to the earliest chapter of Maltese civilization. The temple features a trilithon facade, a paved forecourt, and a series of semicircular chambers revealing architectural skill far beyond its time. Archaeologists believe the massive stones, some weighing tens of tons, were moved using spherical rock rollers, a mystery that still provokes debate. Its rare stone rollers and precise alignment suggest that early humans possessed knowledge far deeper than we have long imagined. Sacsayhuaman appears as a remarkable Inca stone complex, built with massive blocks fitted tightly together without mortar. Many stones weigh between 50 and 120 tons, making their transport extraordinary since the Inca lacked wheels and metal tools. The three-tier zigzag walls stretch roughly 984 feet and reach thicknesses of 13 to 18 feet, forming one of the strongest ancient defenses in the Andes. The main material is andesite, a rock as hard as quartz, raising questions about how ancient builders shaped and polished each surface so precisely. Numerous stones show extremely refined finishing, surprising researchers who study the advanced material skills of the Inca. Walking among the giant stones and dry highland air feels like touching an ancient layer of intelligence preserved across time. Hongshan culture emerged over 6,000 years ago across northern China's low hills and pine forests, where a once warm climate turned relentlessly dry. Stone ruins, ceremonial temples, and giant clay statues reveal a society that transcended hunting life and entered a stage of organized ritual and spiritual authority. They crafted jade with astonishing precision, creating the mystic pig dragon, regarded as the earliest known symbol of faith and power in East Asia. In early 2025, archaeologists in Inner Mongolia discovered 35 intact jade and pottery relics, proving Hongshan once extended over 600 miles and lasted far longer than scholars believed. Troy appears as an ancient multi-layered center with an archaeological depth of nearly 49 feet, revealing more than 3,000 years of continuous growth. Its stacked cultural phases present at least 9 construction stages, forming a clear historical sequence rare in ancient contexts. Some remaining walls stand about 16 feet high and nearly 13 feet wide, showing careful load planning under frequent conflict pressures. Collapse marks and thick debris layers indicate powerful destructive episodes tied to major Bronze Age struggles. Geological studies reveal several foundations aligned roughly 12 degrees off true north, suggesting early intentional orientation by ancient builders. Walking through the exposed stones and windswept plain feels like touching a storyline that has never fully disappeared across millennia. Yonaguni Monument rests beneath the Sea of Japan, defined by massive rock terraces with sharp edges rarely formed by nature. It was discovered in 1986 by diver Kihachiro Aratake, sparking a global debate over whether it is natural or man-made. The structure measures about 330 feet long, 200 feet wide, and over 80 feet high above the seabed. Some researchers believe it may have been part of an ancient civilization submerged by rising sea levels thousands of years ago. Divers often feel overwhelmed by its squared forms, filtered light, and the stillness that seems to touch the flow of time. Today, Yonaguni Monument stands as a symbol of an unsolved mystery where nature and human perception meet beneath the deep ocean. Derinkuyu is a multi-level underground city carved into volcanic rock on the Anatolian Plateau, reaching nearly 280 feet deep beneath the surface. It is renowned for its immense scale and complexity, containing thousands of chambers, storage rooms, temples, and wells linked by tunnels. Narrow corridors, low ceilings, and grey tufa walls under dim light make visitors feel as if walking through a living underground metropolis. Everything was hand-carved with primitive tools, no cement or metal, yet perfectly ventilated, watered, and preserved for millennia. Legend says its discovery began when a villager broke through his basement wall and found a passage descending into endless darkness. Today, Derinkuyu stands as a monument to ancient survival, where humanity turned the Earth's depths into refuge and memory of a lost civilization. Bent Pyramid is instantly recognized from afar by its midsection angle change, creating a sharply bent profile unseen in all ancient Egyptian architecture. This more than 4,600-year-old monument reflects a decisive experimental phase when builders adjusted the design while construction was underway. The structure rises about 328 feet, with a lower slope of 54 degrees and an upper slope of 43 degrees, forming two distinctly different faces. It stands as the first pyramid featuring two separate entrances, leading into independent corridors, showing a major shift in architectural thinking. Many stones weighing more than 10 tons were positioned accurately using only simple manual tools, revealing remarkable technical capability. Standing before its preserved limestone surface, visitors gain a clear and direct view of ancient engineering that feels strikingly authentic. Terracotta Army is recognized as one of the most extraordinary clay soldier complexes in history, with more than 8,000 life-sized figures created over 2,200 years ago to guard the emperor after death. Its massive formations of soldiers, horses, and war chariots reveal an advanced military organization far more detailed than expected for the ancient era. Many figures contain hollow structures inside to reduce weight while maintaining durability, showing precise physical calculations by early craftsmen. Several real weapons discovered among the statues were forged from anti-corrosion alloys, proving that ancient metallurgy had reached an unexpectedly high level. The entire complex was discovered by accident in 1974 and quickly became one of the greatest archaeological findings of the 20th century. Its enduring value is affirmed as a direct testament to the organizational skill, artistic depth, and technological sophistication of an ancient civilization. Pumapunku in Bolivia is regarded as one of the most precise ancient stone complexes on Earth, existing for over 15 centuries. Massive andesite blocks, weighing between 40 and 130 tons, were carved and fitted with gaps smaller than half a millimeter. Geologists found the quarry over 30 miles away, proving ancient builders transported these stones across harsh plateaus without using wheels. Today, scattered cracked slabs remain after ancient earthquakes, standing as evidence of a vanished engineering mastery. Satellite images released in 2014 revealed alignments matching sunrise and sunset, confirming its astronomical function. Now recognized by UNESCO as a unique archaeological heritage, Pumapunku attracts travelers, researchers, and those still seeking its unresolved mystery. Chichen Itza is understood as a rare intersection of science and belief, with a stepped pyramid rising about 98 feet like a vast observation axis on ancient limestone ground. This more than 1,000-year-old center shows that the Maya embedded mathematics, celestial cycles, and cosmic philosophy into every architectural decision. The arrangement of 365 steps aligned to the sun's movement reveals their deep understanding of time, agriculture, and social stability. The acoustic effects that reproduce the call of a sacred bird reflect a desire to connect human rituals with forces considered divine. The Serpent of Light phenomenon during equinoxes demonstrates how a single shift in sunlight transforms the pyramid into a living astronomical instrument. Through its union of science, spirituality, and environmental knowledge, the site stands as direct evidence of the intellectual depth achieved by the ancient Maya. Dara is regarded as one of the most important military cities of the Byzantine era, formed more than 1,500 years ago as a regional fortress. The city once held a key strategic role with fortress walls and towers arranged in sweeping arcs, combined with water-filled ditches to create two defensive layers. Inside, several great halls and storerooms have ceilings higher than 32 feet, carved directly into solid rock, showing extremely refined manual building skills. The water cistern system was engineered with precise slopes, so clean water and sediment could separate naturally without any pumping mechanism. This integration of rock-cut spaces, defensive walls, and hydraulic planning makes Dara a rare example of a city where warfare and water engineering are tightly linked. The strongest impression comes from realizing the city seems carved out of the ground rather than built upward, giving it both physical and symbolic power. Teotihuacan is an ancient and mysterious city of the Americas, formed more than 1,500 years ago and once holding central power across central Mexico. The entire urban plan follows a northeast to southwest axis, tilted about 15.5 degrees from true north, matching sunrise at the start of an old calendar cycle. At its peak, the city held roughly 100,000 to 200,000 residents, becoming the largest urban center in ancient America and one of the major cities on Earth. A main avenue extends for more than 1 mile and reaches almost 130 feet wide, making anyone in the middle feel small inside a man-made cosmic layout. In 2011, archaeologists found liquid mercury in an underground chamber over 50 feet deep, raising ideas about rituals that copied an underworld river beneath the city. Today, many visitors describe the feeling of entering another world, where the geometry is so strict and repetitive that normal sense of time begins to fade. Göbekli Tepe is regarded as the earliest known megalithic ritual center, estimated at around 11,600 years old and predating all other ancient religious structures. Its T-shaped pillars, rising from roughly 10 to 20 feet, display dense carvings of predatory animals and abstract geometry that reveals symbolic thinking among late Stone Age hunter-gatherer groups. The largest pillar stands close to 20 feet and weighs about 10 tons, moved entirely by human strength long before the invention of the wheel or metal tools. A soil layer more than 15 feet deep once sealed the entire complex, and stratigraphic studies show multiple intentional backfilling phases marking the end of each ritual cycle. For decades, the site was misunderstood as a simple burial ground until excavations in the 1990s exposed its unexpectedly vast ceremonial arrangement. With exposed stones rising from a broad, dry highland, visiting this place feels like approaching one of the earliest chapters in humanity's spiritual evolution.
It was first discovered in the 1960s by a team of archaeologists from the University of
Hegra was built over 2,000 years ago in northwest Saudi Arabia, carved from vast sandstone cliffs once ruled by the Nabatean kingdom. Beneath its dunes, an ancient water table, only 65 feet deep, allowed settlers to engineer wells and reservoirs for permanent life. The site preserves more than 111 tombs cut into solid rock, still bearing Nabatean inscriptions, naming their owners and ranks. Stone facades rising nearly 70 feet reveal technical mastery and sacred symbolism of a vanished desert civilization. After centuries buried by wind and sand, Hegra was rediscovered in the 21st century through modern archaeological excavations. Hegra became Saudi Arabia's first UNESCO World Heritage Site, standing as enduring evidence of ancient intelligence and faith within the desert. Aramumuru in Peru is one of the most enigmatic stone monuments in the Andes, where a massive doorway carved into red sandstone hints at vanished ancient knowledge. The portal sits about 12,800 feet above sea level within a silent, dry plateau, untouched by major erosion for millennia. Scientists recorded magnetic readings 15% stronger at the doorway's core, an anomaly nature alone struggles to explain. The surrounding rock shows parallel formations resembling material once melted and reformed under immense geological pressure. When you reach Aramumuru, stand before the stone gate, place your hand on its cool surface, and feel the breath of a civilization still beyond our understanding. Kaymaklı Underground City is the largest known subterranean settlement in Turkey, carved from volcanic rock over 2 millennia ago to shelter its people from conflict and harsh climate. Geologists have documented more than 50 natural ventilation shafts still functioning efficiently to circulate air at depths beyond 260 feet. Eight primary levels have been excavated, but radar surveys reveal at least 12 additional layers hidden beneath the stone, expanding the city's vast scale. Descending inside, visitors can observe hand-carved marks evenly spaced along the walls, demonstrating precise labor and ancient craftsmanship. Some tunnels extend for miles, suggesting a complex underground network designed for movement, storage, and survival across great distances. Today, Kaymaklı stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, embodying the endurance, intelligence, and engineering mastery of an ancient civilization preserved in stone. Sangsingdui lies on the fertile plains of Sichuan, about 25 miles northeast of Chengdu, within the ancient Min River basin that once nurtured early settlers. Geological layers reveal traces of an earthquake or major landslide around 3,000 years ago, possibly ending this remarkable civilization. Excavated bronze, gold, jade, and ivory artifacts show advanced metallurgy, including a bronze human figure 8.5 feet tall, weighing about 400 pounds. No clear writing system has been found, leaving Sangsingdui an archaeological mystery that challenges traditional views of Chinese civilization's origins. Among green plains, the modern shelters over ancient pits give visitors the feeling of walking backward through millennia. Sangsingdui is regarded as one of the 20th century's greatest archaeological discoveries, reshaping our understanding of China's ancient cultural diversity. Chenco in Peru is one of the most mysterious stone sanctuaries of the Inca world, where every niche channel and tunnel was carved directly into a single limestone block across the Andean Plateau. The word Chenco in Quechua means twisted or curved, describing the winding rock formation that connects underground ceremonial chambers. The central monolith rises about 20 feet high, 60 feet wide, and weighs more than 1,000 tons, carved entirely on site using techniques still unknown to science. Inside narrow, dark tunnels were once used for the rebirth journey ritual, where participants walked through darkness to symbolize death and spiritual renewal. A study from the year 2015 detected resonance inside the rock at 110 Hz, matching the pitch of ancient Andean male chants, suggesting it was built for sacred acoustics. When you enter Chenco, let the echo within the stone guide you deep into the memory of the Inca civilization, where humanity and spirit once became one. Çatalhöyük is one of the oldest known human settlements on Earth, founded around 7,500 years before the Common Era, and lasting nearly 2,000 years. It is regarded as the first cradle of urban life, where humans began permanent living, farming, pottery, and social organization. Each dwelling measured about 200 to 250 square feet, including spaces for living, cooking, and spiritual rituals. From above, the settlement appears as a cluster of interconnected rooftops, with entrances built through the top instead of the ground. There were no streets, and everyday life unfolded on the rooftops, forming a closed and distinctive social order of the Neolithic age. Today, visitors walking among Çatalhöyük's remains can touch 9,000-year-old floors and feel the heartbeat of humanity's first civilization. Mount Nemrut is famed as the only archaeological site where colossal gods sit atop a 7,000-foot summit, symbolizing the divine power of King Antiochus I. At the top, a cone of crushed rock about 500 feet wide and 160 feet high hides a secret royal chamber below. Around it stand 30-foot-high statues of kings and deities, blending Greek and Persian cultural elements. Carved reliefs display ancient celestial patterns reflecting the belief that human destiny was written in the stars. The king's true tomb remains undiscovered, keeping Mount Nemrut an unresolved archaeological mystery. Visiting Mount Nemrut is not only seeing ancient sculptures, but feeling the intersection of royal power, faith, and the vast natural world. Tucumán in northern Peru is an immense adobe pyramid complex, standing as evidence of ancient social organization and spiritual devotion long lost to time. For more than 1,000 years, it served as the power center for the Lambayeque and later the Inca cultures, each leaving distinct architectural traces. The site spans over 540 acres, containing 26 earthen pyramids, dozens of plazas, temples, and ancient irrigation canals that once fed the valley. Amid the golden desert, the eroded mounds still preserve their original symmetry, revealing advanced urban planning and ceremonial precision. Legends tell that ancient kings sealed Tucumán with a curse, burying treasures and human offerings to guard their souls for eternity. Today, Tucumán endures as a living museum in the desert where visitors can feel the echo of a forgotten civilization through every grain of sacred earth. Pavlopetri is the world's oldest submerged city, dating back to around 2,800 years before the Common Era, resting just 12 feet beneath southern Greece's coast. Archaeologists determined that tectonic activity and ancient earthquakes more than 3,000 years ago caused the entire settlement to sink beneath the sea. Before its fall, Pavlopetri served as a major maritime trade hub of the Mediterranean, linking early civilizations through the exchange of wine, pottery, and textiles. When the tide recedes, streets, stone walls, and house foundations remain visible, revealing advanced Bronze Age urban planning. Scholars believe Pavlopetri pushed the origins of Mediterranean urbanization back by 1,000 years, redefining Europe's earliest organized societies. As you dive into Pavlopetri's shallow waters, every stone and street seems to guide you back to the moment when the city was alive. Chan was the capital of the Chimu Kingdom, built over 11 centuries ago, with 30-foot walls stretching more than 1 mile across the Peruvian desert. Its adobe bricks of earth, sand, and straw were sun-cured for weeks, creating structures resilient enough to endure millennia of dry coastal winds. Each citadel had a single guarded entrance, regulating rituals, treasures, and commerce, reflecting the strict hierarchy of Chimu society. Ceremonial chambers, decorated with spirals and stepped pyramids, symbolize the eternal cycle connecting humans and nature. Wall carvings of waves, fish, and seabirds reveal a belief that the ocean was the divine source of life and prosperity. Walking through its ancient corridors, one feels the pulse of a civilization that once ruled the Andean coast for centuries. Taozi stands on the edge of China's Loess Plateau, about 6 miles from the Yellow River, and is known as one of the earliest ancient cities of the Central Plains. The city existed from around 2300 to 1900 years before the Common Era, with rammed earth walls over 4 miles long dividing residential, ritual, and burial zones. At its core, archaeologists uncovered an observatory of 13 aligned stone pillars used to mark the solstices and the phases of the moon. This structure is considered the oldest known observatory in the world, built about 500 years before Stonehenge and forming the first lunar solar calendar. Today, digital 3D and AI reconstructions allow visitors to stand between sky and earth, where a vanished civilization once measured time itself. Erlitou is regarded as China's first ancient city, emerging about 3,900 years ago across the fertile, yet unstable Yellow River Plains. It featured rammed earth palaces over 330 feet long, with ceremonial courtyards and paved roads revealing an early organized society. The Erlitou people mastered advanced bronze casting crafting bells and ritual vessels that marked the beginning of Eastern metallurgy. Archaeology shows it was a center of power, religion, and craftsmanship, with an estimated population of around 24,000. As climate change and floods degraded the land, the civilization slowly faded, yielding to the dynasties that followed. In 1988, Erlitou was designated a National Heritage Site, and in 2022 became a National Archaeological Park, symbolizing China's enduring memory of civilization. Byblos lies on the Mediterranean coast of Lebanon and is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Around 5,000 years before the Common Era, it became a major trade hub between Egypt and the Near East, famous for exporting cedar wood and papyrus. The city holds temples, stone harbors, and royal tombs, where many artifacts bearing Egyptian influence were unearthed from Phoenician kings' graves. It was here that the first Phoenician alphabet emerged, forming the foundation for Greek, Latin, and most modern Western scripts. Through millennia of wars and earthquakes, Byblos still preserves layered ruins, proving the rare continuity of human civilization. Standing atop its ancient walls facing the sea, one realizes that Byblos is not merely a city, but a living memory of humanity's beginning of knowledge. Mitla sits on a high valley about 4,855 feet, known as a Zapotec ceremonial center, with maze-like courtyards, columns, and stone corridors. It was inhabited about 2,900 years ago and flourished until 1521, serving as the main religious hub of the region. Its walls and floors were built from thousands of small stones, tightly fitted together, forming geometric patterns that have lasted for centuries. Spanish explorers in the 16th century first documented it, and modern research uncovered underground chambers matching ancient tunnel legends. Mitla functioned as a royal burial and ritual complex, a symbol of sacred power, where art and belief merged into stone. In 2017, Mexican archaeologists, using ground-penetrating radar, confirmed hidden tunnels beneath the site, revealing a new view of its underworld. Volterra rises on a clay plateau in Tuscany, once known as the Etruscan city of Velathri, one of 12 major centers of that civilization. From afar, the town appears like a fortress in the sky, surrounded by deep valleys and endless meadows, a landscape both isolated and defensive. During the Roman era, Volterra became a cultural hub with a theater of over 3,000 seats, public baths, and an open arena carved into stone. In 1472, a revolt over salt control turned Volterra into a battlefield. The Florentine siege and devastation carved its name into Italian history as a symbol of freedom and loss. The clay plateau still erodes along its edges, threatening ancient walls. while revealing untouched Etruscan layers beneath. Volterra overwhelms visitors with its paradox, a city that once fell into silence, yet survives through the very solitude that saved it. Nazca lines appear as an ancient desert where giant carvings have remained visible for more than 2,000 years with surprising clarity. All patterns can be seen only from the air, creating a surreal impression of a civilization sending messages toward the sky. The region stays extremely dry, with very low humidity, helping the lines avoid erosion and remain stable across long periods. LiDAR studies show slight shifts in some shapes, revealing slow geological movement still happening beneath the desert surface. The geoglyphs date from around 200 years before Christ to about 600 years after Christ, showing a time when Nazca skills advanced strongly. Nazca lines stand as a symbol of how humans can shape soil and stone into lasting heritage that continues to inspire deep wonder. Chand Baori was built more than 1,000 years ago and stands out through its 100-foot depth and 3,500 steps, forming nearly perfect symmetry. The entire structure stays stable on a firm sandstone base, preventing the stone blocks from shifting even a tenth of an inch across centuries. When viewed from above, the whole system resembles an inverted pyramid, creating a visual effect unmatched by any other ancient hydraulic design. Its modular stair segments connect through horizontal load points, revealing construction logic far more advanced than what simple ancient tools should allow. Although its original function has faded, Chanbauri continues to feel like a lost ancient achievement, balancing engineering memory, human curiosity, and the weight of time. New Heliang lies in northeastern China on the forested highlands of Liaoning, serving as a 5,000-year-old ceremonial center of the Hongshan culture. The site spans about 19 square miles, featuring temples, altars, stone mounds, and ritual corridors crossing the surrounding hills. It was identified in the early 1980s, with major excavations in 1983, revealing a new chapter of Neolithic civilization. Today, New Heliang stands not only as an archaeological site, but as evidence that Chinese faith and social order began far earlier than imagined. Walking among terraces and stone bases, visitors can feel the ancient harmony between human spirit and nature. Researchers suggest that climate shifts and water changes eventually weakened this sacred land, leading to its long abandonment. Huyuk lies about 16 miles southeast of Aksaray on the dry Cappadocian Plateau, where prehistoric humans first chose to settle permanently. The site was first recorded in 1964 by Professor Ian A. Todd and systematically excavated from 1989 under archaeologist Ufuk Essen. After more than a decade of work, researchers uncovered over 45,000 square feet of structures, one of the largest excavation zones in central Anatolia. Semi-subterranean houses with flat paved floors, rebuilt repeatedly in the same spots, reveal early ideas of maintenance and permanence. Human bones show evidence of skull surgery over 10,000 years old, the oldest known example of early medical practice. Standing on that ancient ground, one can almost see the smoke, the roofs, and the first human steps, the birth of the idea to stay and build civilization. Pisac rises as an Inca stronghold, extending across a mountainside above 11,100 feet, where roughly 500 terraces reveal how ancient builders shaped extreme terrain into a functioning world. Studies show that terrace walls could retain about 5 degrees Fahrenheit, more warmth than open slopes, helping crops survive cold nights typical of high-elevation environments. A water system carved into cliffs and an aqueduct nearly 70 feet tall demonstrates precise Inca engineering for managing limited mountain water sources. Ceremonial stones like the Intihuatana aligned with the sun during solstices, revealing astronomical knowledge far beyond the settlement's apparent scale. A rock tunnel about 52 feet long and an ancient burial area with more than 3,000 tombs add a distinct layer of mystery to a civilization without written records. Today, Pisac remains protected as a symbol of human adaptation and creativity, reflecting a long relationship between people mountains and the slow movement of time. The Leshan giant Buddha stands in Sichuan province, China, carved directly into a cliff where the Min, Dadu, and Qingyi rivers meet. Construction began in the year 713 after the birth of Christ under the monk Hai Tong, who sought to calm the dangerous currents that once capsized passing boats. The statue rises about 233 feet high, with a 48-foot head, 92-foot shoulders, and toenails large enough for more than 100 people to stand on. It was carved entirely by hand from red sandstone without metal frames or cement, only through cutting, chiseling, and polishing stone by ancient skill. Standing atop its head, overlooking the three converging rivers, one feels the union of nature, craftsmanship, and eternal faith. Hamzan Tepe lies across the southeastern Anatolian highlands, where early humans first tried to settle on the dry limestone and basalt ground. Since the early 21st century, archaeologist Bahattin Çelik has led systematic surveys revealing a preserved area of over 53,000 square feet, showing clear traces of early settlement. On the southeastern slope, researchers discovered more than 250 flint fragments per square yard, proving it was once a vast stone tool workshop for hunting life. Scarcity of water and minerals kept the settlement temporary, where people still hunted and foraged while experimenting with staying in one place. In 2021, Hamzan Tepe joined the National Taş Tepeler Initiative, called the largest archaeological network since the discovery of Göbekli Tepe. After decades of excavation, Hamzan Tepe still hides its secret beneath more than 10 feet of soil, where many believe a silent temple underground waits for humanity to rediscover its first chapter. Yagul stands on a hill above the Tlacolula Valley in Oaxaca, spanning about 4.15 square miles, and designated a natural monument on May 24, 1999. Built as a hilltop fortress with walls, processional ways, and lookout points, it commanded the plain and ancient movement routes. Burials beneath paved plazas and courtyards place elite power directly under public space, tying authority and community ritual into one design. In the 1950s and 60s, Ignacio Bernal and John Paddock led systematic excavations, mapping the palatial complex and clarifying Yagul's rise and decline. Climbing stone corridors to the fortress rim and looking across the valley feels like meeting visible history and everything that vanished between its stones. Today, Yeagle endures as a Zapotec symbol of strategy and faith. Hilltop defenses, underground burials, and memory carried by the valley's dry wind. Leptis Magna emerges as a major Roman metropolis, covering more than 120 acres near the Mediterranean, where limestone ground and a coastal route less than 1 mile away shaped a dominant North African port. Its long stone avenues, nearing 1,300 feet, colonnades rising about 30 feet, and a marketplace with carved measurement blocks reveal an advanced and highly regulated urban layout, rare in the ancient world. The harbour that once connected the city to Sicily and Egypt declined when river sediments accumulated at roughly 2 to 3 inches each year, collapsing essential maritime trade routes. Today, Leptis Magna stands as a lasting reminder of how ancient builders transformed the desert's edge into a monumental city that has endured for more than 17 centuries. The Baalbek Quarry lies in the Bekaa Valley, about 0.4 to 0.6 miles west of the city and a few feet above the temple complex. Dense local limestone allowed extraction of blocks exceeding 1,600 tons. In 2014, another weighing about 1,650 tons set an ancient record. The entire site forms a vast limestone pit where unfinished monoliths still rest, as if a giant project was suddenly abandoned. Since 1996, Austrian surveys measured the terrain, estimating dimensions and paths that used the slope to slide stones toward the temples. Transport methods remain debated among engineers and archaeologists: wooden sleds, rollers, earthen ramps, or combined seasonal systems. Visiting the quarry, you see not just stones, but a frozen moment in time. The unmoved block remains a mystery of how ancient people made mountains walk without machines. Norascia is an ancient Etruscan city carved into red tufa cliffs of Latium, Italy, famous for tombs cut deep into towering rock walls. The city was built between two narrow valleys, where the soft volcanic stone let its builders carve temples, stairways, and multi-level tombs into the cliffs. stacked rows of graves form a city of the dead, a rare rock-carved wonder in the ancient Mediterranean world. Walking through forests and ravines along old stone bridges, visitors feel they have stepped into a place time forgot. Most ancient works in Norcia are now covered by forest, with a few excavated sites still showing tool marks and how people honored death itself. Many archaeologists believe Norcia was not just a necropolis, but a dual city of the living and the dead, where both realms silently met. Ubar appears as an ancient incense center on the edge of the empty quarter, where limestone cast ground and a strategic caravan route shaped a dominant desert hub. Its fortress walls, stretching nearly 60 feet, over 2 feet thick, and rising around 12 feet high, light a settlement built for control and protection. More than 200 tons of sand were removed to reveal a karst sinkhole over 40 feet deep that caused the city's dramatic collapse. Visiting Ubar lets you stand where a city once vanished into the earth and feel how nature reshaped the fate of an entire ancient community. The pyramids of Giza rise on a natural limestone plateau where stable ground conditions have allowed the entire complex to survive for more than 4 millennia. Their construction used over 2 million stone blocks, weighing up to 150,000 pounds each, with sides aligned almost perfectly to the 4 cardinal directions. The King's Chamber was built with granite, transported from a region hundreds of miles away, demonstrating extraordinary labor organization and advanced stoneworking skills. Modern ground-penetrating scans reveal hidden corridors and air shafts pointing toward the Orion constellation, raising ongoing questions about their original function. Wind erosion, urban expansion, and heavy tourism now threaten the limestone surfaces, prompting Egypt to enforce wider protective zones across the Giza Plateau. Visiting Giza lets you stand beneath towering stone masses, rising more than 400 feet, and directly feel the scale that has amazed humanity for thousands of years. Menidra is an ancient megalithic temple complex on Malta's southern coast, built in the 4th millennium before the Common Era, and listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The site contains 3 adjoining temples set on a rocky slope about 197 feet above sea level, facing the Mediterranean horizon. Its largest stones weigh around 20 tons and were moved using wooden rollers and stone spheres, an engineering achievement far ahead of its time. In the lower temple, sunlight aligns perfectly through the doorway during the spring and autumn equinox, turning it into an ancient stone observatory. Small carved holes across the blocks are believed to form a solar calendar, marking the 365-day cycle, proof of early human science and order. The greatest mystery remains unsolved: how the ancient Maltese moved and raised such massive stones without wheels or animals to pull them. Akrotiri emerges as a Bronze Age city sealed beneath more than 130 feet of volcanic ash, where pumice and basalt layers preserved structures for over 3 millennia. Multi-story buildings reaching nearly 30 feet,